Burnout to me is when you feel disconnected from the world, when you have nothing more to give because you've given so much already.
Our metaphorical cup has been filled to the brim. It's overflowing, and we need to take a moment to go and find a way to tip that cup out.
It's a little bit like a piece of rope, and the rope is frayed, and there are people pulling on it from different directions, and the rope is becoming increasingly frayed.
And I told somebody at the time was that I was feeling a little crispy around the edges. And then the crisp began to spread until I was barely able to function at work.
I would say being overwhelmed is probably the word that springs to mind.
It's very individual. For each person, what burnout looks like will be different.
We all experience pressure at work and in our day-to-day lives, and when we don't, we're often bored and unmotivated. And when there's a little extra pressure, that's where we find our comfort zone and where we're challenged, we're able to realize that maximum performance. And we know we best perform in the longer term when we're able to kind of oscillate between that period of being stretched and then being able to return to that comfort zone and able to recharge. And when we're not able to recharge and that pressure continues to build, that's where we experience strain, and that's ultimately what causes stress.
As a clinician, I work with people who experience burnout, and essentially what burnout is we push our nervous system beyond its ability to cope. We don't recognize when our kind of internal messenger is trying to give us the memo that we need to stop and take a break.
This stress over a sustained long-term period at unmanageable levels is very much what we understand burnout to be.
Newsrooms are very busy places, and everything can sometimes seem as though it's very urgent. And sometimes we see people becoming quite overwhelmed and stressed, and then that stress floods the entire newsroom.
I think one of the things that we see is a huge tendency to overwork, really struggling to see any kind of boundary between work life and home life, to be sort of connected all the time.
For me, burnout involved exhaustion, trying to work harder rather than taking a break, not sleeping at all, sometimes thinking that nobody wanted me around, and feeling very lonely about the world.
Signs of that someone is in that period of burnout might include feeling tired, people articulating that they're feeling drained, saying that they're feeling lonely or feeling detached from their colleagues. Or you might notice that people are having a particularly cynical or negative outlook on their role or on their life.
For me, the signs of burnout started to show where, even though I loved the work that I did working with journalists in mental health, I started to not enjoy showing up to work. I was really anxious. The things that usually brought me joy did not bring me joy. I just wasn't happy.
Irritability, quick to temper, impatience, all those types of things tend to be an indicator that all is not well. You should pick those things up, and you should be able to say to someone, just, are you okay? You don't quite seem yourself. And often that's the opening of a conversation that allows you to help people a bit more, isn't it?